Alright, so now that you know where you want to go, it's time to perfectly prepare for a trip, and this starts with our bag or our suitcase. And one golden rule when traveling is pack small. And with that I mean bring less than you think you'll need, because chances are you're not going to wear everything you're bringing, and in worst case, you can find it locally as well. The only thing you'll need a lot of is underwear. But just don't make the common mistake of bringing 4 different kinds of jeans and 5 different sweaters, because that's just useless. They will take up way too much space in your bag and you won't be wearing them, so just pack less as you think. Another good tip is to fill up a backpack and put it inside your travel bag or main suitcase, because there will be moments when you'll just want to leave your main bag at the hostel, hotel, or whatever accommodation you're staying at and just go out with your light backpack. And although our aim is to travel as cheaply as possible, I do want to stress the importance of investing in a quality bag and backpack, because you really don't want your bag to give up on you in the midst of your adventure. Especially when you plan on making more trips in the future, this is a point to focus on. And of course there are countless of brands that will do the job for you, but here are some examples that I loved using in the past. So some good examples of backpacks are Eastpak, Herschel, and the North Face. And some good brands of travel bags are Eagle Creek, the North Face, and Jack Wolfskin. Now that we've got our bag, it's time to fill it up with all the things we want and need on our trip. The content of your bag will heavily depend on the time of the year, your gender, and your chosen location. So I'm just going to go over the main topics when packing your bag. But notice that I've included a complete checklist that will cover every single thing you could possibly need or want in your bag, no matter where you go. So make sure to have this checklist with you whenever you're packing your bag. Alright, let us start with the most self-explanatory and basic need when traveling, which is your clothes. You'll be needing clothes when you're on vacation, believe it or not. So the type of clothing you'll be packing depends heavily on your chosen location and the local weather at that time. It also depends on the kind of activities you plan on doing. For example, if you're going to do a lot of hikes, then of course make sure you bring some sturdy hiking shoes and light, long trousers against bugs. Will you be spending most of your time at the beach? Then don't forget your flip-flops and swimming shorts. As I said, this section is pretty self-explanatory, but just try to imagine every single situation you will be placing yourself in before concluding that you've packed everything. So once we've picked our clothes, it's time to pack all the things concerning hygiene and medical gear. I found this to be one of the most important things, because once we're abroad, some things can be hard to obtain and find. So depending on where you go and what your personal needs are, this list may vary from person to person and can become very, very long. To really consider all the different things you might need concerning hygiene and medical care, I strongly suggest you to go over the checklist, because all of the things you could possibly need in your medical gear bag are listed in that checklist. So check it out. So now that we've got our clothes and our gear towards hygiene and our medical needs, let's talk about the electronics you can bring on travels. The changing times we are currently living in really give us the opportunity to capture our most beautiful memories while allowing us to stay connected to our loved ones at home and the people we meet. And this is something to be extremely grateful for, but don't take unnecessary risks here. Here are some ideas of things I tend to take on my trips. So I always take my smartphone and of course its charger. Depending on where I go and how long I stay away, I also take my MacBook Air, which is very light. It's great to travel with. I also take my headphones. Consider noise reducing headphones if you're sensitive to noise or sound. I also take my GoPro camera and a memory card and its charger. Depending on where I go, again, some electrical converters and also a waterproof case for my iPhone. So these are just some ideas. For more ideas, again, check out the checklist. I've listed everything up there. And I know that all of these electronics and all these things can become very pricey. And that's why I want to make you aware of a website that offers everything you could possibly need at ridiculously low prices. Whether it is a camera, a charger, a phone case, electronic gadgets, tripods, memory cards, or whatever. Name it and they probably have it at extremely low prices. The only downside with this website is that it actually takes quite a lot of time to be shipped towards you. But if you're fine with that and if you have the time, I strongly suggest you to check out this site. It's called www.miniinthebox.com. Yeah, as I said, check it out and buy whatever you need for your trip, and you'll save a lot of money compared to buying it in your usual store where you would have bought it. All right. So also avoid bringing heavy and large objects, for example, heavy laptops and large tripods. Unless you really need them and really see them as a must, it'd be better to leave them at home, because a lot of weight can really be a struggle when traveling, especially when you're moving around a lot. So keep it small and as light as possible.